So here we have the Korg chromatic tuner. This is model CA30. I don't believe they actually make this one anymore, but the ones that they do still make work in a very similar way. So this should translate pretty well. So basically, if I wanted to find out the pitch of my singing bowl, you can see here a couple different features. So we're looking for this green light. Right now it's listening to my voice. Apparently I have a G tone. This is our calibration pitch. So we're in this system, we're looking at how does this bowl sound in a 440 designation? And the note name is over here. So 0 would be perfectly in tune. Anything on this side is on the sharper side of this note. And it's showing us like, oh yeah, you're on the sharper side there. Anything to the left is going to be the flatter side of this note, and it indicates flat there. And you can see this meter sort of hopping around. It's listening to me through the microphone right here. However, there is an input jack in case you want to go directly from a microphone or from your digital workstation. You can see the plus 20 here. This means that you can see cents. So this is how many cents there are. And these are in 5-cent increments. So 5, plus 5, plus 10, plus 15, plus 20. This little notch on each side is a major third in either direction, but don't worry about that. That doesn't really come up. That gets into a technical level of this tuner that we really don't need. But basically, we're looking for how many cents there are. So 5, 10, 15, 20, anything within 10 cents, you're doing great. 20, still fine. Like I said, it's not good or bad. It's just, helps to know where you're aligned towards. So essentially, I'm going to take my bowl in a really soft mallet. I'm going to play gently, and I'm even going to tilt the rim of my bowl toward this microphone. That way I don't have to overplay it, and we're just going to see where it lands at. And again, this is at 440. So this bowl is really close to concert G. It's going to fluctuate because there are a spectrum of overtones. And that's why we're seeing that needle hopping around. And I'm really looking at this green light dead center. Yeah, so this bowl is pretty much at a G. And I'm using a soft wand. If I went with a harder wand, and in this case I'll just play a little harder, it doesn't really know what to do with that. It kind of short circuits. It's still grabbing the G, but there are so many frequencies, it doesn't really know what to do. Let's do it with the crystal bowl. So I don't have to change anything on the tuner. It's just a different bowl. So this one's kind of hopping around, right? What I'm seeing is this meter is way at the edge. It was coming way down here to the left. And so what that tells me is that this is either a super flat bowl or maybe 440 just isn't the right calibration for this. So what I can do with this tuner is adjust the calibration down. I'm gonna bring it down because I'm already at 440. Now I wanna hear what it's at 432. And you can see as I touch, it's moving down 435. And I'm just going to manually set it to 432. Let's see how this does. And that is a near perfect E flat, which is enharmonic to D sharp. Which is what I know this bowl is. So this is a D sharp. It's almost perfect at 432. So maybe my crystal bowls are in a 432 designation. And that's fine. It doesn't matter as long as I know, so that when I pick the next bowl, I can get them as close as possible. And that's what I'm looking for. So essentially, if I'm picking a new bowl and I want it to match a previous bowl, I want it to be within plus or 10 cents. Plus or minus 10 cents. There we go. Which would be the first big dot on each side of this is 0. However, for a bowl that I'm picking out for the first time, if I'm not matching it to anything and I'm just taking a measurement, and again, that's how I like to use the tuner, is I'm just taking a measurement. I'm not imposing any judgments on it or trying to superimpose, my will onto this bowl. I'm just gonna read. Soft mallet into the microphone, probably at 440 just to see. Although for fun, this is an antique Tibetan bowl. And it's landing here around the plus 20 cents mark for an E. Now the tuner is not going to show it as reading green because according to the tuner, anything outside of 20 cents plus like sharp or flat, it's going to say it's out of tune because it's trying to help you align with a perfect 440. Now these instruments are older than a Western tuning system, so they don't correspond to that. If I bring it down to 432 just for kicks, I'm just going to take another reading. In 432, this is a really flat F. So it's not tuned to either system because this predates those systems. So just for fun, if I put it at 436, at 436, it's really sharp. Oops. Don't pay attention to that. That's if you have to sound. You can sound your A and tune to it, or your B flat if you're a concert instrument. We don't need that feature. I just hit the wrong button. 434. Really sharp. What I'm doing is I'm calibrating as I go to see which system is this in pitch at. So at 442, we're now under 20 cents sharp. We're under 10 cents. Spot on. So if we were using a calibration system and our let's call it an orchestra. Let's say our orchestra was at 445. This E would be perfectly in tune. But if everyone, like a piano, if I was playing with a piano at 440, this E would be about 25 cents sharp. And what I'm looking at as I play is that 20, 25 right next to it, and the light that's kind of telling me, and then the pitch is there, right? And that's no worries. So the reason that I did this measurement at 445 is, let's say I was in a big warehouse with a bunch of antique bowls and I loved this bowl and I wanted this to be my E bowl. That's no problem. I know that at 445, this is perfectly in tune. So what I would do is leave my tuner calibrated at 445 and I would start pulling bowls to hear, like, let's say I wanted a B bowl next or a C bowl. And I would look to see, can I get that bowl in tune at 0, like perfectly in tune, but at 445? And that would make these a perfect third apart. Well, not perfect. Perfect in the sense of a really great match, not as far as an interval. It would be a major third. So that's how we can use this tool to kind of find a way to calibrate our bowls and make sure that they're all in tune with one another. Again, I don't put any stock at all in what this number means. Other than that, this is an orientation point to see how in tune my bowls all are with each other. I don't care if it's at 432, 436, 440, 445. Again, these bowls at this age predate those tuning systems. So to try to superimpose that after the fact is folly. This is really just a non-judgmental tool, a metric, literally to measure the frequency of this bowl so that I can better match it to other bowls.